What's up, guys? It's your boy. This is me taking action right here on YouTube and Instagram. Today we got another banger for you. We're coming live from the Manor. This is my 22-acre. I don't like calling it a farm. I don't like calling it a ranch. I like calling it the Manor. We actually host some youth football games up here on the field. We do some basketball tournaments. We actually got one coming up in July. It's $150 to enter, and then it's a $1,500 prize for 3-on-3 tournaments. And then of course we live in the main house, and over on the other side we have an orchard where next year we'll be doing youth agricultural classes. So this is the Manor where we actually make money at. With doing the football games here on the field, is really giving us a good chance to see how we can make money, when using our own property, what kind of time frame we like to have people here on our property, but also is really giving us an eye-opening about how much money we can actually make. When somebody rents the field, we're making $500 for the day to stay at home, and so the goal has been, let's clear our mortgage, right? Let's clear our mortgage for the month, with using our land. That's always been something that we wanted to do. And since we've been having people out, we realized that there are certain clients who's willing to pay more than others for that same exact space. I guess over the last 3 months, we've been getting a lot of attention from wedding planners, I guess you could say, wedding planners, where they have clients who are about to have weddings and they want to do some kind of outdoor, kind of wedding. Now, don't get me wrong, I love having our youth events and I love having our basketball games. Those provide, a really strong amount of money for the day compared to the time that we have to put into it. But the wedding planners said that if we make this area over here even better than what we have it right now, then we can rent this space out over here and make upwards of $3,500 to $5,000 just for the venue plus. So this is our pathway, and this has definitely come a long way, because before it was just trees, real thick trees like it was over there. But we actually had our guys that's here now come through and knock out a bunch of smaller trees throughout the big trees to give it this nice, open, well-kept feel. And then we've kind of used just some landscaping. We planted these are irises. We planted maybe 350 of those. We planted some daylilies. I think I put out about 50 of those. And then we put out about 50, probably about 100 hostas. And we made this pathway that goes over to our parking lot area over here. Okay. Now, before I had all of this acreage, I didn't even know that people did this kind of work. I mean, I guess I knew it, but I never knew. But you see these guys right here? These guys bring over these tractors that cost $100,000, and they're able to just eat up trees. Now, what they do is they use this skid steer, okay, and then they have different attachments. One is like a forestry mulcher. Another is a brush cutter. I believe that's what he has on now. It looks like a little Pac-Man, and it literally just eats all of the little trees and scissor cuts them. And he's able to eat up, 2, 3, 4, inch trees, and he'll start from the top and he'll go down from the bottom, just like you see him doing now. And he'll be able to clear out this area. They'll be done. This is probably about 3/4 of an acre that he's going to clear out today, like they've done over here earlier for me. But he'll be able to do this just today with this thing. Check this out. So this is just random. I ain't even know they was about to come on top of the guys that's here doing the land clearing. So I just left to go get a cut, come right back, grab the guys some money real quick, and I get back and the guys is cutting my grass over here. We were talking about this morning on the No Stingy Energy podcast. What business and learning how to make income and learning how much your time is worth and expanding your network of people. All of that stuff, you know, comes back to buying back your time. You know, one of the metrics that we learned at the car dealership, shout out to the car dealership, is how much your time is worth. You see, in order for you as an entrepreneur to buy back your time, you have to know how much your time is worth. And they was, like I said, they was teaching us this at the car dealership. So they said, hey, add up how much you're doing, you know, in revenue sales that you're getting paid on every week. You know, add that up, okay? And then divide that by how many hours you work, and that is your hourly wage. See, some of you guys, you're working an hourly job, so this is easy for you to figure out. But in sales, your income is unlimited. It's really whatever you sell. For you guys that's in sales, or for you guys that's have your own business or want to get into real estate, you'll understand what I'm saying. So if you do the math and your hourly wage is you know, $75 an hour, $100 an hour, $150 an hour, you know, now my hourly wage is $350, okay? Then you'll understand that if somebody is willing, so I keep about 7.5 acres cut between this side around the house and on the other side over there in the parking lot, and the shooting range. That takes about a day and a half, literally 12 hours, okay? 12 hours to keep it cut. So that right there, and these guys are willing to cut that grass for $450. So because it takes a day and a half, and they're only charging me $450 to do that, then it's not worth my time to do it. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense to y'all. So I left, and I guess I've been gone for maybe an hour and a half, and look at all they got cleared out already. It's just amazing how that daggone tool setup works. Now we gotta decide exactly where we want this pergola to go. And I think I see it actually. So you see how it kind of slopes? You can see how it kind of slopes down? You see, well, we was gonna put it right here. Okay, we was gonna put it right there because once again, this is where people park at. Right now, we only do basketball games, so they park, football games and basketball games. They park over there, and then that's the pathway that takes them to the field side. So we figured we was gonna put it right here. You know, so that's the area that I had cleared out. Now, the only problem is when the builder came out here to look at this area, they are looking to get married, the builder is, and they love this area, but they said, well, look at that house right there. We would not want that house to be in our photos if we had our wedding right here. And what we started, as we started to walk this area that we have available, we noticed that the further you go down, the less you can see those houses. You know, the less you can see the house across the street. So that's how we decided that we were gonna put it over here. And now I'm gonna bring my wife back out here so she can see if we want them to clear any more. I think that's where we're at, or where we want it to be graded. But now that I really see, it comes down a little bit, but it levels off right there. So I think this right here, oh my gosh, it's amazing how God works. It's amazing how God works, because look at that. It's not leveled right there, but it's level right here. And then it's not level right there. It's almost like God knew we were gonna need to put this pergola right there. I love that. I'm gonna go get the wife to see if she's thinking the same thing as I am. Because, you know, for everybody that's married already knows you gotta keep your wife involved, okay? Now, real quick, just so you guys can understand how my brain is working on this. See, in college, I used to rent rooms in college, and my whole idea for renting rooms at that time was I just wanted to live where I was at for free. And I did that for maybe 3-4 years, okay? You know, I decided that estate should pay for itself. The field pays for itself. The basketball court pays for itself. We do our real estate VIP days out here, you know, and now we're gonna have the pergola. So that's the mentality. That's how all of this came about, you know? And this is nothing new, because guys have been doing this for years. Yeah, but it's definitely gonna be a lot of landscaping involved though. A lot of landscaping. I mean, this ain't nothing, it's an outdoor wedding, so it ain't nothing but landscaping. right, so if you can't tell, it's another day at the Manor, and we're continuing the pavilion, I don't know, the wedding venue area, whatever you want to call it. Actually, I might need a good name for it. Maybe I'd name the location or something. But you know, last time, well, what you just saw in the video is us having the guy come out with the forestry mulcher. They're gonna take down, I think they're taking 6 trees down, and then I had like a twin kind of tree that fell down, which was huge. Actually, see if I can get close without getting bit up with ticks, because I got on sandals. You know, so if you guys don't know, like when you buy property like this and it's like unkept, you know, of course you get bugs, you know, and one of the bugs you really have to worry about is ticks, not because of their bite, but because of what they might carry. See, so they're taking like all of this junk right here and getting rid of it. All of them beautiful logs. These logs are beautiful. Oh my gosh. And then I got a bunch down over here that we're gonna remove, so we can do our best to clean this up and keep this nice. It's just these two, and not that one.
Okay.
Yeah, just these two.
Okay.
Say it again.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
popper goes. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna cut that red oak and that pine.
Right, the first big one and then the second big one.
So we got these two and them two. What about that?
Nah, that one is good. Yeah, no, that one's good.
The rest we got that right corner, and then the rest of it's on that.
Right, and then the rest of it is just falling down stuff. Now, I really like showing you guys this kind of stuff because this is real estate, okay? Now, granted, it's a little different than just buying and selling, wholesaling and all that good stuff. But wholesaling is really just a gateway drug to, you know, learning what good deals look like, to getting creative when it comes to acquisitions and exit strategies. You know, it's just you know what I mean? Wholesaling is just the beginning of this, you know, of doing the things you want, you know. So I'm showing you guys this. So number one, what you want and what you think is possible and what you think is not, you know, but also start thinking molding your mind around the creative stuff. You know, it took me a long time to get this creative, like, oh yeah, buy 22 acres and do weddings on it. You know, but we got a wedding booking August 30th. Shout out to the Ramirez family. Now we got Mr. Keith out here, AAA Tree Service, taking the big trees down. And I think at that point, when these guys get done, see, they're gonna clear all, there's like a bunch of trees that I had forestry mulch last year. Like, you know, all of this was very tree like this was over here. And I had this done last year. But where all of these trees have done, it's gonna be nice and clean. So that way when we have Mr. Ramirez's wedding,
this is a Working Man Set production.
now I do want to tell you a few things that I've learned so far with the whole land management kind of thing, you know, just in case you guys can actually learn from this and use it. So I don't know if you can see that big tree right there. So apparently that tree is more valuable than this tree right here, okay? And it's more valuable for a few reasons. Number one, that tree over there is probably about 3.5 feet round, you know, and then also that tree is straight, okay? And then lastly, that tree is a maple tree versus this one being like a sugar something, okay? Apparently maple trees that are thick enough and straight enough can be sold. So for that particular tree, where it would, you know, typically cost me just for that one tree cost me $1,000 to be taken down and hauled away, you know, that tree right there is actually paying me $600. Now, because I'm doing a whole job, I'm not just getting $600 for that one tree. You know, it's kind of getting deducted as a credit, you know, for the rest of the job, you know, towards the rest of the job. But whenever you're buying land, you know, for development or for yourself, and you're gonna, you know, and you're gonna work the land, then you can look at the different kinds of trees. Now, tomorrow at 11, I actually have the county forestry management department coming out to do a forestry management plan of my whole property, so they can tell me more about the trees, tell me which ones are which ones, and essentially they'll make a, you know, like a whole plan for me to say, hey, you can sell the trees on your land for these amount. Like, you have this many of this tree, you can sell it for this amount. If you wait 5 years, you'll be able to sell it for this amount. And so that'll be extremely cool, and I'll make more videos about that, because there's a lot of tax advantages that come along with that. So we'll go over some of those things so you guys can learn that. The next thing is, with whenever you're buying a big, you know, piece of acreage or multiple parcels like this, and you're, you know, gonna do some kind of development, is you really need to add up your cost, what it's gonna cost you. Because one of those like tractors over there, like that's a skid steer what Mr. Keith is using, and then the forestry mulcher that you guys saw, that's just a bigger skid steer with a different attachment. You really need to add up your costs and figure out, is it gonna be beneficial for you to, instead of paying somebody else to do it, is it more beneficial for you to just buy the buy the tractor and then hire out the labor, or buy the tractor and you do the work? Because this stuff kind of adds up pretty quickly. Now, some of it doesn't necessarily add up really quick depending on, you know, the job that you're doing, but this stuff adds up real quick. You know, the first thing we did was forestry mulch just the pathway, and that was $1,000, easy. And then we forestry mulched a little bit more of the front, and then that was $3,500. And then we forestry mulched the back, and that was $3,000. And then we forestry mulched then we used a brush cutter on the creek, and then the brush cutting, that was like $2,000. So like, it just continuously adds up. And so you might, unlike myself, you might want to actually come up with a plan and get a estimate for all of those things to see if it's beneficial for you, maybe just to buy the tractor and then hire out the labor. You know, just a plan. My plan right now is to, you know, have these guys use all of their big equipment, so that way I can get it to a spot where I can maintain with a Ventrac. And then lastly is, whenever you're buying properties like this, is you really should consider consulting someone that has bigger property too. And see, the forestry management plan, I didn't know about that. Mr. Michael Martin, actually, you know, another black guy that has 20-something acres down the street, told me about the forestry management plan, which, like I said, I'm gonna get into that later. But this simple conversation with him and the simple strategy that he gave me is literally gonna save me, I don't know how much, but in the beginning, like at the very beginning, it's gonna save me $10,000. So that means it's gonna save me more in the long run, but right now it's gonna save me $10,000. So let's get back to the guys doing this project here.
Productions.
So this maple right here, they tried to dig it up first and then just knock it over, but she deep in there, so they couldn't get it. This is actually really great for us because we got a grade all of this area right here, because this is where people are gonna sit at. So I think they're gonna use the skid steer to pull it down, because they got a rope up there. And I'm here to watch the show. Yo, these dudes is crazy. So what I think he did is put a notch on one side, which is like a triangle, and then on this side he kind of cut a slit into it, and he just pounded like I don't even know what they call it, but he just pounded something on one side. I think that helps to control the direction, but I'm not really sure. But there we go. Ooh. All right, guys, we just got done clearing out the pavilion area. It's looking good. Honestly, Mr. Keith with AAA Tree Service just did an amazing job. So anytime I do videos like this and you guys are in the area and you see me, you know, like showing off their phone number or their name, and you need their service, give them a call. You know, these are my guys. You know, I wouldn't show their name and phone number if they didn't do great work. And honestly, these guys did a tremendous job. They took out about 15 truckloads, of trees and debris out of here, graded off the pavilion area really nicely, and I just feel like they just went over and above, honestly, and they did it in a good amount of time. I think it took them 5 or 6 days to do this. It's a pretty big job. I even like how, like I was telling y'all, how he used some of the trees that he could sell as a credit towards the full amount. Like, he was open and honest about that, not necessarily keeping it in there so he can pad his numbers. But look, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this little series of us going through clearing this area. And once again, I'm showing you guys all of this because you guys can have your dream property, the property that you guys want to have, whether that's personal or whether that's investment. And I'll show you guys these kind of things, number one, to make it real for you, but number two, just to be like an example. Me doing this stuff and not spreading the word or not sharing the good news, I feel like that's a disservice, me as a believer, and you as somebody who needs to be inspired. We all need to be inspired, you know what I mean?